Hi, Ange. Can I just ask, first of all, how the squad's looking after the weekend? Any bumps and bruises?
No, all good. It's been good to sort of have an extra day, which doesn't seem like a lot, but with the schedule we've had, just having that extra day has, I think, helped the guys recover from the schedule we've had and the weekend's game. So everyone came through the game unscathed and available for selection.
I know you're very consistent in your approach towards games, despite the fact that you're holding a 2-0 lead going into this game away from home. Are you just looking for much the same from your players?
Yeah, I think that's the best approach for us. I mean, if we go there and try and defend for 90 minutes, I just think you're asking for trouble. They're a good team, and we know, at home they're going to be playing, fairly high tempo and high intensity football to score goals. And I think if we sit back, we're just going to invite pressure on ourselves. So, we've been, I think our best football is going the other way, going forward. And if we score goals, it puts more pressure on the opposition. So, we won't change our approach. I think it's kind of the best strategy for us.
On a week like this, when you've got two big games in such a short space of time, does that come into play when you're choosing your team selection for tomorrow night?
I mean, I've just felt we've had big games all along. My first two games were Champions League games. So, it's not like, we kind of eased our way into it. So our approach all along has been to put our strongest team out there for every game. And we haven't rotated a lot. I mean, luckily the last sort of 2-3 weeks, getting some extra players in has helped us just rotate a few that we've had who've been either sore or injuries. But, we've gone with a core group of players through this early part of the season. And, we'll just put the team out tomorrow night that we believe can win the game, and then we'll look at Sunday after that.
How big a success would qualification for the groups be in your eyes, given all the plates you've had to spin in the last 6-7 weeks?
Look, I mean, I don't think the end goal for us is just qualifying for group stages of Europa League, but that's what's in front of us now. I mean, I was disappointed we didn't get through the Champions League first stage, and this is the next opportunity for us to guarantee ourselves some opportunities for some big European nights, take on some of the biggest clubs in Europe. And so, it's not an end goal. It's more, this gives us an opportunity to try and build something special for this year and beyond. So it's an important fixture because of that. And, players, I think, are looking forward to that sort of contest where that, you get through it, then that opens up more possibilities to do something special.
Given that you're trying to build something sort of long-term and improve the club overall, how important is that experience of playing further into Europe in your eyes? And also, I guess, your evolution as a coach?
Yeah, again, coached at a World Cup. I've had some pretty big games. It's not like I need more experience to understand what's at stake. So, but I think it is important for the players and new players that, when you're involved in this football club, that's part of it. You're going to be in big games all the time. There's constant pressure every week to win every game. But that's that is the responsibility, but also the beauty of playing for this football club. Every game is an opportunity to do something special, and certainly tomorrow night we get that sort of platform to play in a big game, for the players to showcase their talent, and for us as a team to keep progressing and evolving into the team we want to be. But it's one step, but it's not. I think it's a defining step, not in my eyes anyway.
And you said you wanted your team to play a style of football that fans would be proud of. How far off that are you, given the levels you've moved through so quickly already? Yeah,
we're still far off. And again, I don't want to be dismissive of what the players have done so far. It's just that, we all know in football that it has to stand a test of time, because there's going to be inevitable challenges even beyond this week. I know everyone's sort of saying this will be the measure, but there'll be inevitable challenges down the track, whether that's, you know, some players loss of form or injuries or certain challenges we have. And for me, you know, we've got to stand the test of time with our football before we can say, okay, you know, we've built a strong foundation. At the moment, what we have done is, you know, again, I don't want to be dismissive of it, is giving people hope, you know, that we're on the right track to something. But we're not there. We can't be there because, as I said, we haven't gone through those inevitable bumps that you face in a football season or in a football journey. So that's when, you know, you'll know whether it's really embedded in the players and in the mentality of everyone in the group.
And also, you've brought in Josip Juranovic as competition for that right back position, which you've spoken about before. Is he expected to come straight into the fold tomorrow?
No, well, he can't. He's cup tied. He played for Legia last week in Europe, so you know, he can come in later stages. So he'll be available for the weekend. And you know, it's not about competition for places. It's about, you know, having a squad that can compete in all these competitions we want to be successful in. And, you know we can't do that with just, you know, 11 or 14 or 16 players. You know, you kind of need, ideally, to have depth in every position on the field. And right back was an area where, you know, Anthony Ralston's been outstanding. But, you know, I've been on sort of tenterhooks hoping he gets through every game because we have no alternative to him. So having Josip in, it just means, yeah, we want to maintain a standard in our football, even though we're going to have a congested sort of fixture schedule, and we can only do that if we have quality in depth as well as quality in our starting teams.
Ange, how is Kyogo? Has he been affected in any way this week by what's happened off field? Is he good to go?
He's good to go. Yeah, absolutely. Has he been affected? Look, it's hard because you know, unless you know. It's the old adage, unless you walk a mile in a person's shoes, how do you really know? But, you know, I've said that he's a really positive character. He's really enjoying his time here, not just the football, but living here in a new country and the new experience. And when, you know, when 99% of your experience is overwhelmingly positive, you know, that 1%, you kind of, I hope anyway, because like I said, I feel responsible and protective of him, that it doesn't affect his overall outlook. But it's easy for me to say. It's not, you know, hasn't been directed at me. So, but he's training well. He's got the, you know, he's a very happy sort of natured guy. And, you know, the club supported him. People are constantly, you know, asking him if he's okay. The players are certainly around him, and he's been good. You know, he understands that, you know, this is not reflective of his experience here.
Yeah, you spoke, I think, about the cosmopolitan nature of Glasgow and Scotland that you've experienced in your short time here so far. Are you impressed with the quick way that Rangers reacted and the fact that these people have kind of been banned now?
I just think, you know, it doesn't matter who it involves. We don't need to be impressed. It just has to happen. You know, it's. I don't think Rangers acted because, you know, they wanted to impress anyone. I'd like to think it's just people see right and wrong and just deal with it. You know, I said yesterday that this doesn't need endless debates on you know, whether it's talk radio, on TV, on what should happen or why it happened. It's wrong. We know it's wrong. It's not something that anyone sees any grey in. I'd be surprised because we all understand how people in that situation feel. You know, when you're the victim of something like this. So they did the right thing in dealing it, and you know, whoever else it happens to, or whoever else wants to transgress, whatever organisation they're involved in, then I expect to be dealt the same way. Just simple, you know, just deal with it. And then I think when the consequences come that quickly and without too much debate, I think people then start to realise, okay, well, you know, maybe a line's been drawn and we shouldn't really conduct ourselves in this way anymore.
Hi, Ange. Just to go back to, sorry to bring it up again, but the squad numbers, you're always talking about bringing in more players. You only had 11 or 14 at the start, so you have 16. We're expecting maybe a few more to come in. Liam Scales, the centre half, has been linked. Is there anything you can tell us on that? And If not, are there any other positions you do need to strengthen? There's only about a week left to go in the window.
Yeah, we go, and like I said, we still working hard to bring in one or two. Absolutely. The tricky part about this end of the window is you kind of don't know what outgoings you're going to have, which might affect things. So we've got contingency plans in place, and we're talking to a number of sort of targets to see what business we can do. But we still need one or two more in the group for sure, and that's what we'll do. What positions? Again, that may depend a little bit on who may or may not be leaving. So and on that front, there's nothing really concrete that's happened yet. So I expect, if anything is going to move, it's going to start moving in the next few days.
Yeah, are you concerned about that? Obviously, two players with their contracts running out in the next 12 months are Odsonne, Edouard, and Ryan Christie, two massive players for the club. Are you concerned that they may leave with these two huge fixtures on the horizon? And also, if they do stay, are you convinced that they will be 100% committed, even if their contracts are running down to go and,
Well, I don't think it'll affect these two fixtures. And am I convinced? I said at the outset, I'm not going to try and coerce or influence players to stay if they don't want to stay. But what I will do is treat everyone as if they are part of this football club, as long as they are, and provided they, show the commitment to what we want to do. And I think Ryan and Odsonne have been outstanding in that. I mean, you can't tell me that they look like players who, don't want to be here. Irrespective of what their immediate future holds, is that, they're contributing every day, not just in games, they're training. And, if that continues, mate, I'll be delighted to keep them for as long as they want to stay here. But at the same time, they're all masters of their own future and their own sort of destinies. And I think it's important that, they make these decisions that are good for themselves.
And I'd just go on follow-up on question about Kyogo. I was wondering, there's been some discussion about whether the players would make a sort of public show of support for him. Is that something that's been discussed? And if this sort of abuse was to happen in a stadium around the game, would the players be, ready to stop the game, to walk off, to show their support, to show that, that this is something that can't be tolerated?
Yeah, the players didn't do this. The players of Rangers are not responsible for this. And the players every game show their support. They take a knee every game. Again, we're talking about things that, we shouldn't be debating. That it's clear what's right and wrong. Now, people are choosing to do the wrong thing. They're not being, they're not going into an area which is uncertain or, I'm going to really sort of test the boundaries here. It's wrong. And the players every game have shown how united they are around this. Now, I'm sure every player at Rangers and every player around the league would want to support Kyogo, but they're footballers. They're going to go out there on the weekend and go at it and try and win a game of football. It's not their responsibility to continually, educate when the education is finished. It's done. That doesn't need gestures. It doesn't need extra sort of actions. I like to see these things, as they've been dealt with so far, that, what, they did something wrong, they've paid their price, let's move on.